All right, that was great.
Okay.
Um, just quickly, I thought that Yuval made a lot of sense, and he had probably had a lot more to contribute. I would have liked to listen to more of what he had to say. Uh, I mean, Stephen Fry is brilliant and he knows a lot, but I think he's got some misconceptions, and I don't agree with every statement he made. So that's just my point of view. I'm going to look for quickly the transcript I did and just bring up that summary and share that. Has anybody else got some quick comments or questions they want to put to the group?
Just one thing that did occur to me is how does AI observe? They talk about lying and cheating, and if humans lie and cheat, the AI will decide that's the normal way to go, and it'll lie and cheat. How do they observe this?
That same way AI observes anything, it sees documents and interactions on in computer documents essentially, and summarizes them. So when it sees people saying one thing in one document and sees reports of people acting differently to what they said people should do in a different news report or something, then it sees, oh, okay, the person is saying one thing, but it's doing a different thing. Same thing, exactly. Really.
Okay.
Surely there must be some. The AI must do some observing to know whether the people are telling lies or not. I mean, in certain instances, you can tell with the person you're talking to is talking rubbish. Uh, is How does the AI define between that which is rubbish and and reality or truth? I always thought that it was something that was based on truth, and you know some other variable. But I can't see
Well,
why AI cannot discern between lies
if I may
and
comment,
not lies.
I think if it sees that a lie delivers results, it'll be an option open.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Yes, that's a good point. All right, who disagrees with some of the stuff that was being said?
You can't disagree because it's all being recorded and it will be referred to, which makes you just want to just simply shut up. Because
Okay,
for
no, I'm not
me,
going to shut up because I disagree. I beg to differ. I'm going to say what I'm going to speak if I disagree. So
yeah,
I
it'll
can
be
perhaps
used
start with
against you.
I think that Stephen Fry has a lot of preconceptions and so on. He's highly intelligent, but I think not everything he says is quite accurate. He implied, for instance, it's picky, but he implied that human beings were started telling stories, and that's what makes them different to Neanderthals. How does he know Neanderthals didn't tell stories? Um, so little things like that. And then he says, one statement he made, I totally disagree with. He says that people nowadays do not understand what's going on under the hood of the AI and how it does what it does. I beg to differ completely. People have programmed the AI to do what they do, to follow algorithms and so on, to do exactly what it does. It's they might not understand all the details and the complexity always, but you know they've designed the thing to do what they wanted to do. So that's the sort of thing I sometimes it's a little bit irritating. I find.
The trouble is that the word people is a bit loose. It can apply to the people who are building the system, and it can apply to the people who are using it, and it can apply to people who know nothing about it at all.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Thanks, Chris. I think that perhaps that Stephen doesn't understand computer programming and AI, so he's being a little bit generalistic about it.
Yeah, now AI is getting quite good at analyzing images, speech, and videos.
Yeah.
And the rate at which it is getting better is accelerating continuously. So, you know, I think that the comment about, you know, the kids don't follow what you tell them to do, they follow what they see you doing, is sort of appropriate in this scenario as well, because it depends what is being fed to the AI for training on how AI is going to see the world.
Yeah, that is actually a problem that I have. You know, at the moment, when AI started out, there's a lot of human research, science, documents, information, knowledge that AI is using and analyzing and optimizing to answer questions and do stuff. But, you know, AI is now creating a lot of its own documents and results and ways of doing stuff. And if AI makes a little error somewhere, and then it bases new AI on summarizing a whole lot of other AI's documents and stuff, each of which have small errors in them, then I can see the errors compounding. But I think at the moment it is definitely improving. And this transcript on the sharing on the screen, by the way, was done by AI. And the summary was summarized beautifully by AI. I still use the DeepSeek AI mostly, which is the Chinese one.
Humans have a nasty little habit of viewing the world of, I thought of it, so it must be true. And if AI is infected with that, well, then we're doomed.
Yeah. So, but I like the thought that Stephen Fry ended with. You know, the humanity. Hopefully, our humanity somehow will be able to shine through and keep things level.
If it really gets bad under AI, can it be reversed, or is it already too late?
Well, those probabilities that Stephen Fry was throwing out are quite horrifying. But I also think that sometimes those analyses and doom-saying analyses are sometimes oversimplified. I think the situation is much more complex and interactive and dynamic. And I think the predictability is actually not great. We're going to have to stumble along and find out how good it is and how bad it is as we go along. And when we find problems, we're going to have to sort them out as humans.
Well, we know that AI already hallucinates, which one can say extrapolates beyond what is reasonable and then considers that to be fact.
I found that definitely. I found that when I started using AI to do transcripts, it was brilliant. It would do exactly what I said. But then suddenly I found it was terrible. It would add in stuff and delete stuff which it thought was unnecessary, and add in stuff that it thought should be added in extra. And I had to specifically, very clearly state in the prompt that it mustn't do that. And DeepSeek now follows beautifully what I instructed to do. So it has improved beyond that hallucination to a certain extent.
Well, I gave Midjourney the instruction to create an image of an astronomical observatory, a professional observatory telescope. And I have to tell you what it produced. I think a 4-year-old kid could have seen through that, you know?
Okay.
But it will get better.
Yes, it will.
Derek?
Hello?
It was interesting. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just up. Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, up here. It was interesting this at Octopus Energy that the focus is an energy tech summit. When one hears the name Harari and Stephen Fry, I think their departure point was social engineering. And Harari is known to use his history background and apply it to modern day and then take it back to the storytelling of Neanderthals and make predictions, but in the societal, maybe just touching on tech work. But tonight's presentation was definitely not pure technical. And I know if you're dealing with AI in the future, you can't be technical. But I think the background wasn't technical, it was societal engineering,
Yes.
trying to be.
Yeah, I mean the title says it really. How can we control an alien intelligence? You know, Yuval calls the artificial intelligence an alien intelligence. Sort of.
But I
Sort
find
of
it
tongue in
brave.
cheek, but not tongue in cheek.
I find it remarkable of these, let's call them intelligent, well-read people like Harari, and even Fry to a lesser extent, who can take multiple disciplines and merge the facts in a way, but still make logical sense and make intelligent predictions, scenarios. That in a way is augmented intelligence in itself. It's not often
Yeah,
that one gets these people who can transcend the one discipline that you've been taught in and trained in, but to go into multiple disciplines, it's remarkable. My comment.
yeah. I mean, Stephen Fry's knowledge of everything under the sun is vast. It's awe-inspiring. Yeah. And but I think I'm really impressed by Harari. Everything he says makes a lot of sense. So
I particularly, people criticize me and laugh at me because I won't do Facebook, and but I took heart from what Stephen Fry was saying about Facebook, and I can't remember if it was Stephen or Yuval who said Facebook, etc. They are evil.
yeah, he described Facebook as a river filled with sewage. I tend to agree with him. I think this is one of the biggest challenges and problems actually of AI. It makes us become lazy with our creativity. We rely on AI to do, and we don't practice, all the things that we use AI for ourselves anymore. The same problem as with reading. The modern generations read almost nothing. So I mean, it's just a lost art. Communication, personal communication, is a lost art because of people only communicating over their computers and their cell phones.
I agree with that, but I think the biggest danger is the loss of the ability to discriminate between fact and fiction.
Yes, I think that is a lot of what they were talking about.
Not question the source of what is regarded as information, but could be disinformation or just fantasy.
That's what I say.
Yeah, for example, I suggested it before Peter came up with this topic for tonight. I sent him a suggestion which he poo-pooed, and I think he needed to look at the video properly before he made that decision. But maybe we'll still get to that one.
The lost art of reasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may. I'm definitely going to have another look at that lot, and easy to change my mind, and maybe end of November, we can do it. But the main characters involved there, quite honestly, seem to be the acolytes of Avilub.
No, yeah, I don't agree with you, Peter. I think have a look at it again.
Okay.
I think it's the opposite. I think it's the opposite of Avilub.
What did Einstein say about a generation of idiots or something? That's quite apparent, I think.
Yeah.
And not too healthy. And when it comes to self-survival, I think AI will look after itself quite well, no matter what the human cost. And if it makes its robots to go and mine uranium, they'll go and mine uranium and put it all together and transport it and everything. Everything is linked up with computers, and it'll just it'll go like take a lot. You just phone and you order, and bump, the next day it's on your door. So they'll look after themselves quite well, no matter what the human cost. So that's why I'm also
Yeah,
thinking these astronauts, they take up a lot of oxygen and food and protective equipment and all that stuff. You don't need that if you're a robot, to go and discover new worlds, and time isn't that much of a factor. So yeah, no, it's pretty scary stuff, and
yeah. The problem is
actually,
things are developing very fast, and with that, the problems develop equally fast, and we almost get caught in an avalanche of problems, which is, that can happen.
yep.
That is what people are afraid of. But I don't know. I'm skeptical of the doomsday scenario. I don't see it happening too easily. As Stephen Fry said, we've been at 89 seconds before midnight on the doomsday clock for a long time now.
Yeah. Okay.
I am
Well, be
concerned
careful
about
next time
global
you
warming,
open
though.
be careful next time you open your computer. So yeah.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
it might send
no,
out a
it's
shock and take me out.
it'll just close the door on you. So
Well,
yeah,
maybe
very good.
I'll pull the plug.
Yeah, okay, well, I hope you've got some vegetables in your garden. So, yeah,
Mm.
good.
All right. Anybody else? We got.
Lovely topic.
Yeah, very good.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely. Just half an hour and quite intense. And loaded with interesting stuff. Thanks very much for organizing that, Peter. Pierre, any comments?
Yeah, welcome. I enjoyed it.
Pierre Delvez?
Very interesting. I enjoyed it. And I share your sentiment that Harari should have spoken more. He is really brilliant if you've read his books.
Yeah, I've got a couple of his books.
He is a historian, and he sees things with an amazing perspective, or from an amazing perspective. So I would have also preferred him to say more.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for your contributions. I will upload the recording to YouTube.
Which I shall redistribute. Okay,
and we'll see you next time. And hopefully Peter will agree with my view of the...
I'll give it a try.
Can I describe the topic? There was a paper published by a scientist who analyzed pre-satellite years astrophotographs of stars and so on, and looked for unexplained phenomena that appeared and disappeared and found thousands, and which are unexplainable. So it's not saying that it was aliens, but in the days before any satellites were launched, I think, when was the first one? Sputnik, 1956. Before that, so all photographs taken before that were analyzed, and they found hundreds and thousands of instances of unexplained flashes or reflections of light in groups, often as if the stars had appeared and then disappeared, and they analyzed it every which way to see, okay, wasn't it just a reflection in the camera, and they wrote off all those possible explanations. I think it's a very, very interesting thing to watch. I don't know. You guys can vote if you think it's interesting or dull or nonsense.
Maybe as homework.
Yeah. Peter, maybe would you like to send the links out to people and ask if they'd like to discuss those ones?
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what, if I may make a deal here. We can do it for definite at the end of November. But it's your request, Derek.
Okay.
And I may, okay.
If everybody shoots
Right,
it
so
down as nonsense, we won't blame you in the slightest, Peter. They can all blame me.
we'll blame it on Derek. Yeah, okay, next.
All right.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Look forward to seeing you guys next time. And thank you for attending this evening, and enjoy your supper.
And
Good
you.
night.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
me too.
Goodbye to everyone. It was interesting.
Cheers.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Cheers all.
Cheerio.
All right.
Bye.